Hello. I don't want to go too fast on some of these, but there's very few signs for the next hand shapes. So we're going to do M, and we're going to do N, flattened N, an O, and a baby O. So those are the hand shapes we're going to go. So I hope I don't go too fast. I may have to slow myself down because I just had this all written down. Anyway, so the first one is Monday. So this is, you're just putting your 3 fingers on there for an M. Remember my right one I showed you, this ring finger doesn't do very well, but this is Monday, every Monday. Remember we did Friday and we did Thursday, every Monday, but Monday. Next week, Monday. Boy Scout. Remember they're doing the salute, how Boy Scouts do the salute? Well, that's the Boy Scout. Girl Scouts I usually do too, or Cub Scouts I do too. I usually do Girl Scouts, sorry. And then remember we did Congress and legislature. We also did member with a bent B hand shape, but you could also do an M. And then for different religions, for missionary, some people do missionary, some do missionary, because this is the sign for service. So if they do it with an M, missionary, you can do that. So now we're going to go into the open N hand shape. So remember north. Well, I was going to do east, west, north. So N hand shape, north. So you do a south with an S, E with the E, and W with the west, right? That one's really easy. Now, remember when we did cousins, all the girl signs are down here and all the boy signs are here. So if we're doing niece and nephew, the niece would be down here with an open N hand shape. It's not closed. That's too tight. It's not relaxed. Niece, nephew. No. Kind of looks like a duck little, but actually this sign evolved from spelling the word no, N-O, but it became a hassle, so they just no. Duck. Remember we did bird and chicken, duck, goose, goose, and the reason why some people do that is because they bite. Goose, duck, 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 goose, and with children. Some people do Thanksgiving with that. Remember we did this? I just do it that way. You could do it with the N hand shape. It's not wrong, and it's a different accent, so it's not a problem. And then there is an old sign that I don't really think that I should be putting on here, but just maybe, pager. Some medical staff still wear a pager. And so it's basically at your waist where they wear it, and you're just doing that like a no or a pager. So now we are on to the O hand shape. Not like this. That's a flattened O. We will do that. This is a baby O. This is an O because it looks like an O. And remember we did pepper? So now we're going to do any other type of seasoning. Like if you're telling someone about a recipe, you'd say, oh, and I put some seasoning in there. You could use 2 hands because you're putting a bunch, or just 1 hand. It doesn't matter. It just depends on how you're saying something or what you're saying. If I'm going to tell you, no, 0, zip, nada, 0, 0, 0. Now, if I'm counting or doing some math, like 2, 0, 1. I'm not going to go, yeah, right? So it depends on how you're doing that. And I always do it to the side because prior to video relay, we just did O because people saw that as an O. But now, because of video relay, they're not sure what the hand shape is doing. We do it to the side. And now I notice that more deaf people like to know. They want to make sure, is that an O or is it something else? So always to the side now. Percentage. So it's just an O, and so you're basically drawing it. So you have your O hand and right? You have a percentage. I always go, I'm really drawing it. So that's percentage. Opinion. Still O hand shape. That's my opinion. And here's where your mind is, where you're thinking, where you're processing information. In the same vein, if you're like, kind of thinking, but that's a different handshape, so hang on just a second. Orphan, that's someone with no parents, and we did mom and dad. You could do the, remember the K handshape for parents? Now you can do O for orphan. That means 0 parents, 0 mom, 0 dad. A frog is kind of, it's more of a baby. I really do it almost like a 12, but it goes to an O, to a V. But I always think of a 12 as doing number 12, right? But it's an O to a V. O, V, frog, ribbit, ribbit. It's that croaking on their neck. So O, V is a frog. Warm, warm. If I'm telling, you know how when you tell a sentence and you go da 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 da, period, like that's it, no more after that, period. You've got your little baby O, and you just draw it in the air. Also, if I'm telling a student that you're going to go, oh, you're going to get extra points, extra credit, but extra points, or you get 1 point on your test if you answer number 14, whatever, point. That doesn't mean like points, bullet points. So that's something a little bit different. That's one thing about sign language that I really enjoy. It's concept. So if you get the concept correct, then you get the sign correct. Instead of just going, oh, how it's spelled in English, or how it's said in English, how it's spelled, because we have all these different usages with the same spelling. So that's one thing I really enjoy about sign language. Cap, we did that for boy or man. Remember, they're doing their cap like a baseball cap. You could also do it this way, like if they're having a small cap. You could do it with the baby O as well. So that's not too much. Okay, so now we have our flattened O's. Remember, this is our O, our baby O, and a flattened O. Okay? A flattened O. Remember we did home for kiss? Kiss. Eat. Food. I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give it to you. You can accept. You can own it. I accept it. I accept that responsibility. I accept it. I own it. Like if you were working in a garden and you plant some seeds, or even doing your grass, it's a flattened O. You pick up the seed with your flattened O, trying to get it into the camera, and then you just spread it out in a row. Unless you have it and you're trying to explain that a certain shape. In a flattened O, sand, dirt, ground, earth, in that sense of that grainy material that you pick up off the beach or in your yard. Okay, flattened O. Lamp, because the light comes on when you turn it on. Remember, sun is woo. This is flattened O. Shower, but you would do it faster. So if you were doing a lamp, because you're just talking about it. Oh, so then I went to the room and it was all dark, and so I knew that there was a lamp there. But if you're taking a shower, then it's going to be water coming onto your head. And so when you say like a traffic light, you could do a traffic light if you're specifically talking about the traffic light. Headlights. It's all a flattened O. Headlights. And you turn them on and off. One of them was off, and so the officer, remember we did that one, officer stopped me, right? We did that one. Okay, and to inform. So now we have all this information in our brain, and now I've got a flattened O, and I've got this information I'm holding in my hand, and I'm going to give it to you. Remember, we did say give, but I don't want to just hand it to you. I want to give you all the information. don't care. Don't care. Now, care is not this, right? But don't care is like that. And I don't know why, because people always say to someone, just care like this, and this is, I don't care. No, it's like, I don't care, and this is care. I don't know, because see, like, know and don't know, and want and don't want. So anyway. So, now, white. Now, think about a duck with the white feathers on the white down feathers on their breast there. And so when you pull it out, so white, and so if you go to a flattened dough, and then when you splash it back, it's a white person or a Caucasian. Or it doesn't have to be Caucasian, because Hispanic, they can be white, but they're white. But this is a white color, and this is a white person. Remember we did breakfast, so if you did eat noon is breakfast as well. We flatten it out. I want y'all to learn it the right way, and I'll show you how I do it. So here's husband, because you're doing a boy or a man, and then you're married to them. This is a marriage. But I end up just doing it like this, right? But I know, because you're doing it from a boy perspective. And if you had it from the girl perspective, and so a girl perspective is a wife. So they usually do it like this for girl. Remember we did the open hand shape. But people, you get into this little accent. But this is a proper way to do it, because boy married is your husband. So, and then a boy baby is your son. And people sometimes will just do this, because we get our own little style, we get our own little accent, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? So that's it. We did many. We did M, N, that open N. We did O, baby O, and we did a flattened O. So we did several hand shapes that are useful, and I hope that you're getting a lot of vocabulary in how to do it. And so basically people don't know, what do I do with my hand, how do I do it? And so these are the ones I want you to go over and over, so you can really practice your hand shape and do those signs over and over again. And as you take some other signs that we've done before, then you can start making a sentence. But we'll do more sentences and after we get our hand shapes, because then we'll have all this vocabulary with us. So anyway, enjoy practicing, and I will see you soon.